Fozzy have returned with a brand new single called Fall in Line. What an interesting chapter in musical history Fozzy are. For those who don't know, they are the band of Chris Jericho, the wrestler, even though that's kind of not fair to say, because he was not the founding member. I think there's 3 of them from a while beforehand. It was kind of like a covers band, and they happened to sort of like, recruit musicians who happened to be about them for gigs in the weeks, and Chris Jericho, the wrestler, happened to sort of be there one day and got talking and came and did a few shows with them and ended up joining on to be their frontman. It's a very interesting tale. In fact, they were called Fozzy because they used to be called Fozzy Osbourne as like a kind of more of a tribute act kind of thing. I will admit, whilst Chris Jericho is absolutely a polarizing person for many, many reasons, you can't deny his charisma, and he's probably the reason why, well, he's definitely the reason I'm aware of Fozzy, that's to be sure. I used to be a huge wrestling fan. I still like wrestling, I just do not have the time in my life to keep up with it. Like, to follow one wrestling promotion is like, 4 or 5 hours of content a week, if that, probably more, and I don't have time to keep up with it anymore. But I did spend many years very obsessed with wrestling, and at one point, somebody's like, do you know that Chris Jericho is in a band called Fozzy? And I said, what the f***? I need to see this. So the first song I think I got exposed to was Sandpaper, which is actually a great song. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one that has M Shadows on it as well. Literally, I feel like they only managed to pull these various celebrity cameos over the years because of freaking Jericho, even though if you look at the music video for this, in fact, I gotta look it up. It's so bad. It's hilarious. The song's quite good. But if you get to the bit where M Shadows is, where are you? Here we go. It's like the lowest quality green screen. You can even see it. Oh my god, it's so terrible. The thing is, I actually do like that song. It's like, it is a legitimately pretty good song. Jericho's voice in that song is good. It blends well with M Shadows. It's just that you can see in other shots where they haven't bothered to CGI outside the windows. It's just a green screen, and then you just have M Shadows phase in. Oh, it's so low effort. I love it. Another banger they've got, though, their cover of SOS by ABBA is better than it has any right to be. It's just the kick in here with the drums and guitars when it actually gets heavy. It's pretty good. Ready? It's actually really good. That cover slaps. Finally, if you're going to go through my history with Fozzy, you can't talk about Fozzy without talking about Judas. And Judas is probably their best song. I don't know why it's so capturing. I've literally been to live AEW shows where Jericho has come out to Judas and being part of a crowd of a couple of 100,000 people, or no, maybe not a couple of 100,000 people, like 100,000 people, all chanting, Judas in my mind. Excellent. That song has got this weird, it's the way that the rising chorus, honestly, I think Jericho's melody in the chorus is what makes that song. It's delivered with such sincere campness, but like the music video is like totally fine. I think they slowed it down and then sped it up, which is, actually an effect I've used in the past as well. But this freaking chorus, let me find it. It's like, why is there a clown in the background? Because they found a clown costume is the answer, but here we go. Judas in my mind. That chorus is awesome. I don't care what you say. It might be camp, that's their whole thing, but that chorus is great. That song is awesome. You gotta love the hustle of Jericho. He's an absolute showman. Even if you can argue about his wrestling or his politics or whatever you like, but motherfucker's got charisma. So they got a new song called Fall in Line. Let's jump in and have a little listen. Ah, long hair Jericho. Nice. Oh, no. I don't want to be a negative Nelly, but I am like pretty sure he's not singing that live anytime soon. At least not like well. I mean, I know that there's lots of auto-tune on that. I was going to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that is a stylistic choice, which it might still be, but I do not believe he can sing that. Okay, I quite like the kind of like doom metal feel with the sort of like striking synth line in the background with the really heavy like down-tuned guitar line. That's kind of cool. I'm so sorry, I can't take it seriously. I'm sorry. This is some of its parts. Oh, this is not an insult. I promise. I promise. Even though I will say the green screen is like shoddy. That's levels of me from a couple of years ago. Level green screeny. Like, I wonder whether or not they decided to make a kind of digital glitchy kind of feeling in the background after they figured out the green screen was not going to look great. And I do not like the vocal effects on Jericho's voice. Again, I think it's probably to try and cover up that he is aged and his voice is not as good as it used to be. I'm sorry for being so negative. It's just I can't take this seriously, even though I do like the guy's headless guitar. I do quite like the chord progression of the chorus, the way that it kind of goes up and down. It does manage to, it's sort of like, it hits a negative chord progression on the way down, which is nice. It definitely gives it this kind of like quite epic feel, which is cool. I do like that about it. Man, the vocal effects are just, they're far too much. I don't know, just drop the whole thing down like a couple of chords, a couple of tones, something like that. Let him sing in a range he can actually hit. What is going on? I quite like what's going on with the bass in the background. It's doing a kind of octavey thing, like a do thing, which is, I don't know if it was present in the first verse and I didn't notice it, or whether this is a new development for verse 2 for variation's sake. If that's true, that's really nice. It really adds a kind of like funky rhythmicness to this, otherwise fairly copy and paste second verse, which is nice. I appreciate that. The instrumentation is like fairly well put together. They're all very competent in their stuff. It's not reinventing the wheel in terms of like, you know, structural chords or whatever. They're just like, this video is like relying on Jericho being extremely charismatic, which he is, in front of a silly green screen where they kind of all float around their own platforms. I don't think anyone really planned it out ahead of time. It's just whatever Jericho happened to think on the day, I guess. That's what you get when you work with the Ayatollah of rock and roller. A way out. They push and pull until you break down. I think one of the things I can't help but get over is it really does feel like Jericho is role-playing as a rock star. I know he sort of is. I mean, he's a rock star in his own right, but like, he just embodies so many cliches, and I don't know how self-aware he is. It's hard to tell with him. I mean, admittedly, he is a funny guy, but he has also tried various other more serious, or at least more mainstream stuff in the past, like in terms of his career, and it's not worked all that well. If you've ever seen I'm Chris Jericho, I think it's called I'm Chris Jericho.
I was the wrestling champion of the world until I lost it all. Now I'm starting over, and I'm gonna be the greatest actor of all time. If someone else said that to you, you probably wouldn't believe them. But I'm Chris Jericho.
It was like a YouTube skit show he tried to get started, and I'm not gonna lie, that made my head hurt. Okay. I like that. I did like that. That was nice. It almost had some kind of Queen in it, the way that everything went double time, and you had the octave harmonies in the background, and it all went a bit quicker, drop out for a second, and then hit that high note for the chorus. That's super nice. I like that a lot. More of that, please. Yeah, nice ending too. Using that section twice at least. The video is like utterly ridiculous. I don't really know what the lyrics were about. In fact, let's have a quick look. They're in the comments, shall we? They want me to act like them. They want me to look like them. They want me to think like them. Better just to blend in, but I won't fall in line. You tell him, Jericho. Okay, fine. So it's some pretty generic, I'm not going to be a sheep type stuff, which whatever, it is what it is. I don't think anyone's looking for poetry out of Fozzy, but yeah, I don't know, the video was complete and utter nonsense. Just them in front of a green screen or maybe a blue screen to get the reflections looking a bit nicer, but it's not that well executed. The lip sync is like okay, the CGI's okay, everyone's like trying really, really hard, but in fact, on the screenshot I've got paused on right now, which is at the beginning, just look at them. Jericho's feet are clipping through the bottom. That guy's just above the floor. This guy's foot is on the bottom. Like, what is going on? Is this an establishing shot? No, it's not. It's just bad CGI. Okay, so fine. I'm sorry. There is no excuse for that. That's just like really badly executed. God damn it. It's almost like Jericho's a millionaire and doesn't have money to do the shit properly, but he does. Anyway, the song itself was not the worst thing I've heard from Fozzy. It was quite generic in some ways, but I did like the doom metal overtones. The sort of like fat, heavy riff that was pinning it all together was quite nice. The synth line doing the kind of like stabbing chords the whole way through that gave it this kind of like more operatic, more sort of like, yeah, theatrical feel to it, which suits them and Jericho down to the bone. So I like that aspect of it. The bit at the end where everything went a bit faster and they had the sort of like layered vocals in there was really good. Man, his voice, I couldn't even tell you if he could sing that because I don't know what his voice sounds like in that song because there was so many effects and auto-tunes and stuff going on there that you just, oh god, it sounded like a little bit flat a lot of the time, but I really can't tell if that was a stylistic decision that I disagree with or whether or not that was auto-tune fighting with Jericho's age and not winning. I'm not 100% sure. This is, I mean, I don't know what I expected. I expected this, to be honest. I expected to have a bit of a laugh, which I did. I am sorry, Fozzy fans. I am sorry, Jericho fans. I like Jericho. I like Fozzy. This song is not particularly good in that music video. It's fucking dog shit, man. I'm so sorry to say it, but it's true. Whatever. I don't think that Jericho's primary source of income is this. He does the Jericho Cruise, he gets to tour around and play with Fozzy, which I'm sure is a lot of fun. I'm not judging him for that. If he wants to do it, power to him. I'm sure that these guys who are in Fozzy, without Jericho joining in the first place in like 2000 or whenever that was, at the peak of his career as well, would probably not have even bothered to try and turn this project to something more legitimate, because as far as I'm aware, they were basically just a covers band that played live shows up until Jericho joined. So, you know, these guys are riding the train that they've been given. I don't blame them for doing so. I don't blame you if you like it. That is fine. It's just kind of a bit naff. Anyway, rant over. Normally I try and make videos that are positive. I didn't mean to come out of the gate swinging on this one, but hey, you know, gotta speak from the heart to some degree, in the words of somebody, I'm sure. Anyway, let me know in the comments what do you guys think. Maybe you loved it. Let me know. What's your favourite Fozzy song? I'm sure there's a litany of people with some great answers, so let me know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Follow me on the social medias. That would be amazing. Like, share, subscribe, all of that crazy stuff, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.